Okay guys, welcome back to my next Assetto Corsa video. In today's video we're going to be looking at a Spa track guide. This is going to be a more in-depth track guide than what I've done before, pausing it and slowing it down and going through details that you wouldn't normally pick up on my very basic track guides I do within the setups. We're going to be driving the 650S GT3 McLaren for this guide, as it's a car that's pretty easy to drive. I've not played the game in at least 2 weeks. I think it's been. I've been away from the game, busy with something else, playing another racing game, which doesn't help when you're mixing like driving games. I think it gets quite hard, but we eventually got there after a bit of practice, and we managed to get a good lap together for yourselves for a track guide. So we'll get this track guide underway now, guys. Okay, so we're going to start the lap, obviously trying to get a nice clean exit from the last corner, very important. Now what we're going to do on this video, we're going to slow it down when we come into the braking zones, because we want to be braking around that 100 board on the left. So what I'm going to do now is I'm slowing it down so you can see. We're going to be looking out for that 100 on the left now, as you can see it just appearing now there on the left. I'm going to pause it just there. I'm going to show the braking point with that arrow, and we're going to downshift into second gear at this point. We're going to show you the view from outside the car for people using the outside camera, so that you can see that view as well. Then we're going to go down into second gear, and we're going to take a line. I like to get into this corner nice and early, as you'll see now on that arrow there. And we're going to use the crane on the right there as a bit of a turning in point. As you can see there, we're just about to turn in on that view there. Basically, once it's out of view, you're turning in, and you're going to go over the curb, hitting that curb nice and early, and getting on the power as early as you can. As much speed as you can gain coming out of that corner is vital, because you're going to carry all that speed down to the next braking zone, which is quite a long way away. It's basically all out acceleration up through a rouge, coming into the next braking zone. So through a rouge, it's really important that you need to try and get as straight a line as you can through this corner. You do not want to be putting you basically want to put as little steering angle into that steering wheel as you can, because any extra steering angle is going to scrub speed off. So we want to get through this basically as straight as we can, skimming over the curbs. You'll see more so when I go back now. I'm going to go back and show you from the outside of the car. So we're over that curb, and then we're going to get into the apex of this corner, seeing that we're just skimming the curb there, and then we're going to try and go over the curb as much as we can without actually cutting the corner. You see we just about stay on the white lines with the right hand tyres, so it's still within the track limits, but we're straight lining that corner as much as possible, and that will benefit us all the way down this straight now, where we're going to be hitting nearly about 165 miles per hour, as you'll see on the bottom on the indicator there. And we're going to go into the next braking zone, where we're going to be looking at again for that 100 board there on the left. You look there on the left. I don't really use that 100 board. I use the curb and brake just before the curb. The curb is easier to spot in my view, and it's a much better braking zone than using that 100 board. The 100 board, I don't really notice it when I'm racing, but the curb, you can't miss it. So we're going to go down into third gear, and we're going to stay away from that apex of that curb. You want to be careful. The curb will make you spin. The second part of the corner of that curb, you're okay on. You can get away with touching it slightly. Then we're going to do go back and actually have a little look again now what I'm talking about. I stay away from the curb. If you see, I leave a little bit of room there. I don't like to touch that curb. It will spin the car sometimes. That curb you can get a lot closer to. It will not spin you as anywhere near. Now on this corner now, you'll see I'm in third gear, staying in third gear, but I'm going to up it to fourth gear, just basically before we're coming out the corner, so we can stay hard on the power in fourth gear. You'll see now we're going to go into fourth gear where the arrow is there, so when that come on, going into fourth gear, and we stay on the power. Then we do a little lift before we do that as well, just to keep the car in line on the track. Then we're going to come into the next braking zone, where we're going to look again there. We're going to look for that curb on the left, which is going to be basically our pointer to where to brake. We need to be braking just on that point there. You see from this view, it's exactly the same, just braking just on the curb, and we're going to go down into second gear. I take a really tight line into this corner. It's a line that I like for a lot of corners. I then lift off, let the car grip up, and then once it grips it, I can get hard on the power and get a nice clean exit out of the corner. See, we're into third gear. Now we're going to go back and have a look at that line from the far chase camera. You can see that I take a nice tight line, lift, let the car rotate a bit, then once the car's rotating, on that power as early as we can, and we're hard on the throttle. So you can see now we're getting the car perfectly lined up to get back over to the other side of the track for this next bend, where we're going to briefly go into fourth gear. See, we're into fourth gear, and we're going to go back down to third gear pretty much straight away. We quickly click it into fourth gear, and then back down to third gear, which you'll see in a minute when we go back. So we're back down to third gear there, and we're chucking it in, but we're going to go back into fourth gear early again, so we can get hard on that power, use a bit of the exit there, the bit of the space that we've got there to get on the power as early as we can, and use that extra momentum we gain from getting in fourth gear to carry us down to this next corner, where we're going to briefly, again, we're going to just get into 6th gear very quickly and then back down to 5th gear. We're not going to stay in 6th gear for this corner, but we're going to go in 5th gear. But you have to do a lot of trail braking for this to get the most out of this car. You need to just stay on them brakes a bit when you're going to see it. We're staying in 5th gear, but we've got a bit of brake still going on now. It just settles the rear down a bit, and then we're hard on the power. You can see now we're going to build the power in 5th gear. You can see the revs starting to build. Flat out now, no lifting at all at this point, and we're going to go all the way through the corner flat out in 5th gear. We're going to go back and actually have a little look at that corner from the chase camera again, just so you can see. So just before we come into braking zone there, we're going to come into braking zone there, but we're going to go back to this view and have a little look now. So you can see we're going to just skim. We do want to get as close as we can to that curb without hitting it. If you hit the curb, you can unsettle the car, but we basically did that corner just right. Got on the power nice and early into 5th gear, took as much speed as we could out of the corner. Okay, so we're going to be coming into the next braking zone, which is going to be just on the bridge again there, on the shadow there. As you can see from this view, we're going to go down into 3rd gear. We're going to go to the other view to see the braking point a little bit better now. You can see there we're pretty much dead on the shadow, and we got the brakes on. That is the point where we hit the brakes. So we're going down into 3rd gear, and we're going to take a tighter line, but we're not going to go too tight to that curb. The curb will spin you out, so you need to stay a little bit of a breather away from there. And then we're going to go into 4th gear very briefly, as you've seen then, but it was only a very brief into 4th gear and back down to 3rd gear, and then we're going back into 4th gear before we come out of the corner. That's just to mute the rear end. It probably felt a little bit loose, and we just did something just to cure it quickly. As you can see now, watching from the far chase camera, you may not even see where it went loose, but I went into 4th gear briefly. Maybe there, that point there, you can just see the back end was slightly loose, so we felt that through the force feedback and just quickly changed into 4th gear, back down to 3rd, then into 4th gear to get this 4th gear to get the speed out of the corner. So we're going to look at the braking point again now. We're going to brake just before the curb. You need to brake it it looks about 10 yards, 15 yards before that curb. From this view you see a bit better now. It's quite a bit before the curb. You can see the brake lights are just about to come on there. Going down into 3rd gear, we actually turned into this corner slightly early. I wouldn't really want to hit the curb like that. It would have been better if I would have took a slightly wider entry and got a cleaner exit out of the corner. The only thing is we managed to get a really wide entry into this corner because of that, but I would have rather have done it a little bit cleaner and probably gained about 100 from that. But we managed to come out that corner, flat out through that corner. There's no lifting involved with that corner. You can see again. I'm going to go through this view now, and it will show you what I mean by where we hit the curb. You see we hit that curb, and that stops us getting on the power and turning as easily. We managed to just keep it on the track, and then we're staying on the power, chucking it into this corner, no lifting involved, and we're staying through that corner in 4th gear flat out. Okay, so we're going to be getting onto the flat out section now, where there's no lifting involved, but you really still need to make sure you're taking the correct line through this corner up ahead. Basically you want to make sure you take a line that will give you as little steering angle as possible, so you don't scrub off any speed. You can see there we use a bit of the track on the side there, not too much, we're not getting greedy. That's basically just so we can straighten up the corner slightly, make the angle slightly less, so we have to put less steering angle in. See there, we take it nice and smoothly, not running wide, nothing dramatic going on, but we're going to look out now for the braking point at the 150, and we don't really take this corner very well, but we're going to go through why we didn't take it well now. You see there, we brake pretty much perfectly, but what I did, I turned in too early into the corner. You see now we're turning there, we should have waited a couple of yards longer. As you can see now, because we've done that, we've compromised our exit of that corner and entry into this corner where we're taking it too tight, and that means we're going to have to get a little bit, see the steering angle, it comes in and we've lost the back end slightly, but we're getting on the power. We do correct it. You can see now, see how I turn, you look at the black line, the black tarmac. I mean, I do have a habit of doing that in a lot of corners, but that corner I do like to try and take a wider entry. But you can see now, we're on the curb slightly, back end slightly goes, catch it, on the power, caught it quite well, but we've lost about maybe 4/10 of a second, which is annoying because as you can see we go over the line on a 2 minutes 16.416. There was a possibility that lap would have been a 2 minutes 15.9, and I was a little bit annoyed because it would have been a personal best for myself on the track with this car. But anyway, it was a nice lap, it was clean, and I hope this video will help you guys out. What I'm going to include there is the setup I've included here now, is the setup I've used for that lap, because I think my previous setup I did with this car was before they changed the setups with a patch. So this should now fix all of that and should help you guys out with getting all the setup correct that you should have to use what I'm using. Anyway guys, you might have noticed also with this video, it's a little bit high quality video because it's 180p, because I've now got a PlayStation 4 Pro, which enables you to upload videos at 180p, which is much better for myself. Bit annoying it's not 60 frames per second, but might be able to do something with that in the future. Okay guys, well, make sure you watch this TV replay camera. It was a good watch. You might pick up some little tips that you might not have picked up in the slow motion stuff. Hope you enjoyed this video. I want to get more of these videos out to you guys to help as many people out as I can. Hopefully this can knock at least 1 second off your lap times around the track. Some people might not think it will, but it's just little details that some people forget and don't really pay attention to when they're racing or watch them, and they're braking a little bit too late or a little bit too early. It's finding them limits that you need to do, and I hope it really helps you out. Thanks again for watching, guys. Make sure you leave a like if you've liked this video, and subscribe for more of these videos in the future. Thanks again for watching, everyone.